In the summer of 323 BC, inside the humid palace of Babylon, a 32-year-old king who had outrun the very maps of his time lay burning with fever, unable to stand. His name was Alexander of Macedon, and in his trembling hand he clutched not a sword, but an unfinished scroll showing a lighthouse and a great library for a city called Alexandria. How does a man who held everything from Greece to the Indus end up haunted by a single unfinished dream?
20 years earlier, in the mountain town of Pella, a restless boy with wild golden curls sat at the feet of Aristotle, not learning how to fight, but how to ask questions. Aristotle taught him Homer, medicine, and the stars, but young Alexander kept pointing beyond the parchment, asking what lay beyond the edge of the Greek world. That hunger to know, not just to own, would become the engine that carried him farther than any leader before him. At 12, Alexander did what seasoned warriors could not. He tamed the giant black horse Bucephalus, not with force, but with understanding. He noticed the horse feared its own shadow, so he gently turned its face toward the sun, and in that moment of calm, the beast trusted him.
His father Philip watched and whispered, "My son, you must find a kingdom big enough for your heart, for Macedon is too small for you." By 22, Alexander crossed into Persia, and at Persepolis he faced a choice that would define his legend. His commanders urged harsh retribution, but Alexander ordered the preservation of its knowledge, its scrolls, and its artisans, for he wanted to build upon Persia, not merely erase it. It was a radical idea for its time, that victory could mean fusion rather than destruction. In Egypt, he marched across scorching sands to the oracle of Siwa, where the priests welcomed him as son of Amun. There, on the edge of the sea, he knelt and drew in the sand with his spear, the perfect grid of a new city, Alexandria, a harbor where Greeks, Egyptians, and Jews would trade ideas as freely as grain. He would never live to walk its marble avenues, yet he laid its first stones with the certainty of a poet.
In Susa, at the height of his power, Alexander stunned his own army by ordering a mass wedding. He himself took a Persian bride, and urged his generals to do the same, dressing in Persian robes with long sleeves and a modest, elegant full-length cloak with zero chest exposure. His Macedonians were furious. They wanted a conqueror who remained separate, but Alexander dreamed of one world, one people united by respect rather than division. That dream was tested in India, against King Porus at the Hydaspes, a battle fought in monsoon mud where elephants towered like moving hills. Alexander admired Porus, who fought with dignity, and when Porus was brought before him, Alexander asked how he wished to be treated, and Porus answered, like a king. Alexander restored his kingdom, for he understood that true leadership honors courage even in an adversary.
Yet weeks later at the Bees River, his own men refused to go further, weeping, exhausted, begging to see home, and Alexander, who had never been refused, wept alone in his tent before turning back. The return through the Jedrosian desert became his harshest teacher, with blistering heat and empty wells. He walked among his soldiers, sharing their thirst, refusing the last cup of water when it was offered to him alone, pouring it into the sand so all would share the same hardship. For the first time, the invincible commander learned the weight of every life he led. Back in Babylon, the fever took him, and legend says he left 3 final wishes: "Let my physicians carry my frame, scatter my treasures on the path to my resting place, and leave my hands open outside my covering." To show that even the greatest physician cannot defeat fate, that wealth remains behind, and that we arrive and depart with empty hands, owning nothing but what we gave. Alexander died at 32, ruling for only 13 years, yet his echo never faded. His city Alexandria housed the greatest library ever imagined. His fusion of cultures created the Hellenistic Age, where Greek art met Indian thought and Egyptian science. He failed to hold an empire, but he succeeded in planting an idea that the world is one, vast, and worthy of wonder, and that idea still sails today whenever curiosity conquers fear.